Hello viewers, I welcome you to my session. Today my session is on intonation and voice dynamics. I am Dr. Vandana Vig, professor working at Tirthankar Mahavir University. Today I will be discussing in my sessions. I have been discussing about English communication and the various different categories, means the various chapters which have been included in the things which have been included in effective communication. So in this week today I am going to discuss about the voice dynamics, intonation and voice dynamics. Means what role intonation and voice dynamics they play in enhancing communication. Because we know we have heard like simple words which are like pitch. She's speaking loud, she's speaking very slowly, her tone is very low, her tone is soft, her tone is polite, her tone is rude. So she speaks very fast or he speaks very slow. So all these things, they fall in the category of voice dynamics and intonation. Means all these parts of speaking or all the way we speak is responsible, this intonation and voice dynamics are responsible for that. So in my today's session, I am going to discuss all these points elaborately. I'll be discussing all about intonation, the different parts of intonation, or we can say the different channels of intonation, then voice dynamics, the different parts of voice dynamics and how they function and how they help in enhancing the communication. So what are the learning outcomes? That's very important to know, that what will be the learning outcomes of taking this session. What will the learners gain? The first thing is the learners will understand the impact of intonation on specific intonation on speech meaning and emotional tone. Means the learner will be able to understand that how this intonation it impacts the speech and the emotions that are reflected by that speech, then through that speech. Then it even develops the techniques for voice modulation. That voice modulation are the techniques of voice modulation that we will be discussing, like in hand, that emphasis, pace. These are the techniques of voice modulation. Then we have recognized the role of volume. Means how volume and stress they help in conveying the meaning, or they help in enhancing the meaning, or they give meaning to a particular word. Then recognizing the role of volume and stress for conveying examples. Means for conveying emphasis. And the last one is applying intonation patterns to improve clarity and listener engagement. So these are the learning outcomes that the learners will be able to learn. That by the end of the session, means after this session, they will be able to like understand, they will be able to develop, they will be able to master all the things which we people have discussed, which I have spoken. Now the points of the table of contents. What are the points in the table? Means what are the things that I have discussed? That is, first is introduction to intonation and voice dynamics. Means first we need to know that what is intonation and what is voice dynamics. Then second will be understanding pitch variation. Means an element of intonation is pitch. So one of the important element of intonation is pitch. So what is understanding pitch variation? What are the variations? Means what is the role of, then what is the role of volume control? Means low volume, high volume, how the volume can be controlled, and what is the impact of this volume on speech. Then pace adjustment in speech. Pace adjustment, pace obviously it is an element of voice dynamics, that how fast we articulate the words, that is called pace. So the adjustment of the pace. And then emphasis and stress in communication means how emphasis and stress, what impact does emphasis and stress has on communication. Then after that we come to, this was all about voice dynamics. Then we discuss about intonation. Then applying intonation techniques, means what are the techniques of intonation that we will apply. Then examples of effective intonation, and then conclusion. So all these are the points, all these are the areas where we are going to focus, and we will be elaborately discussing all these areas. Now, introduction to intonation and voice dynamics means intonation and voice dynamics, they are fundamental aspects of spoken English. Means they are crucial elements of voice delivery or speech delivery. Means these elements, they add richness, nuance and emotion to our speech. Means the richness of the speech, the nuance means meaning to the speech, how it enhances the meaning, how they impact the meaning, that we'll discuss later. Enhances and richness, nuance and emotion to our speech. Then intonation involves the rise and fall of pitch. So one element of intonation is pitch, and the rise and fall of pitch, they completely alter the meaning of a sentence. Because what is more important, and like if there are two parts in a sentence, then one part needs more stress, the other part needs less stress. So this intonation means the balance of the stress, and how we which part to be stressed and which part to be less stressed. This makes the meaning of a sentence. So after this we have these elements, they add richness. Then intonation that involves the rise and fall of the pitch, and rise and fall of the pitch also, that means that some things are there which we speak loudly, and then some things are there where we lower down our pitch. So where and how that will come. Then voice dynamics include variations in volume, pace and emphasis. So these are the three important elements of voice dynamics, that is pace, emphasis and volume, pace and emphasis. And then last is together they create the melody, rhythm and expression of our voices. Means together intonation and voice dynamics, they create and they give a rhythm, they give a melody to our expression. Now, understanding pitch variation. So what is pitch? What is variation? Means pitch refers to the highness and lowness of a sound. Means the high sound means, supposing I am playing a song on a music system. Okay, so when I increase the volume, that is high pitch. When I decrease the volume, that is low pitch. But that is volume. Okay, low pitch and high pitch is different. Yeah, volume is which can be increased and decreased mechanically, but pitch is something different from the volume. So I have given you the example of volume so that you don't get confused. Pitch is like when we speak on a high pitch, means on a high note, and when we speak on a low pitch, I am speaking on a low pitch. So this is the difference. So this difference can be very accurately understood by the example of singers. Like singers, when some things they continuously go on singing without taking a break, and then they take a break and then the pitch is low. Means when continuously they sing without taking a break, that is called the pitch. So it is low pitch and it is high pitch. Low pitch is short, means it is for a very short time, and high pitch when they continue singing for a long period. Then pitch plays a crucial role in conveying emotions and grammatical information. Whatever grammatical information means, our emotions They are also based on these voice dynamics and intonation only. Then the meaning of some sentences, all the sentences is based on these two elements, that is intonation and voice dynamics. Then rising pitch, often it indicates that either there is urgency or the person is trying to prove himself correct, that is why he has increased his pitch. And low pitch, it indicates nervousness, when a person is nervous or if the matter is not very important. Pitch variations help different sentence types like declarative sentences, declarative, interrogative, imperative and exclamatory sentences. So all these sentences, they are based on the pitch variation. Now after understanding pitch variation, now our next key point is the role of volume control. So now what is the role of volume control? How the volume can be controlled, how the volume can be controlled and why the volume should be controlled. So this is when we are in a very fun-loving mood, then what happens? We increase the volume on our music system. And when we are a little sad, what do? We decrease the volume of our music system, right? When we are excited, we are loud. We are full of emotions. And when we are in a sad mood and or nervous or when we are crying, then our volume is always low. So what is the role of volume control? That is, the first thing is, volume refers to the loudness or softness of a sound. Means loudness or softness. When the sound is loud or when the sound is soft. Then volume, it commands attention and expresses enthusiasm or intimacy. Means what does the volume show? Command. Like when I am going to the class, listen all of you. So this is when I increase my volume, then everyone tends to listen. Or otherwise I can attract attention of my students by saying, listen, I need to share something with you. Obviously everybody is alert that ma'am is going to share something, some confidential information or something of importance. So these are two examples that how low and high volume can influence a person. Then speaking loudly can signal urgency or importance, means when something is very urgent or something is very important. And low volume, what does it do? It creates a sense of intimacy or confidentiality. Then effective volume control is essential for engaging the listener. So when we need to engage our listeners, then this effective volume control is very important. Then after this, next is pace adjustment in speech. Now what is the pace adjustment? Pace is, what does pace means? Pace is the number of words which are spoken at a particular time. Like let's say, pace of words is like if I am speaking too rapidly. How am I speaking too rapidly? That means the number of words which are speaking in a particular time, they are too many. And when I am speaking, the number of words in that particular time only, when I am speaking less. Now I will give you one example. My sentence is the role of internet in today's life. I think here my pace is fine. You all will be able to understand. Now one is the role of internet in our present life. This is one way. This is low pace. Means I am extraordinarily low in speaking. Means the number of words per minute are much lower than the normal. Then the other thing is, what the other way of speaking is, the importance of the internet in the present scenario. This is another example which shows that the number of words spoken per minute are too many. So this is what is the pace. And when I am speaking, the importance of internet in the present scenario. So this is one. This is a normal pace. So now I think this word, what is pace, is clear to you. the way I have given you examples, I think it would be clear to you. Now, pace is the number of words that we speak. That is pace. Then after this, it is pace conveys mood, tone, and emphasis. Means pace, it conveys mood, it conveys tone, and it conveys emphasis. Mood means when you are excited, your pace will be a little higher. But when you are sad, the pace will be lower. So tone, mood, tone, and emphasis means the things which you want to emphasize. Emphasize means like I want to draw your attention that this thing is important. Okay, I wish to draw your attention. So this is what I am doing. This is emphasizing. I am emphasizing on few words. So this also comes under the category of pace. So then, obviously, when we will emphasize on certain words, the pace will become slower. Yes. So then speaking quickly can indicate excitement, and speaking slowly can indicate nervousness. Then speaking slowly conveys seriousness or nervousness. Now varying pace captures listeners' attention. Like I gave you the example of my students, like I'll say, when I'll say something fast or I'll say something slow, means the way it is volume, in the same manner it is pace also. Because if I'll speak rapidly, the students will not be able to understand what I am speaking. And if I'll speak very slow, they will say that it will create monotony. This we have done. Pace adjustment in speed we have done. Now we have, the next one is emphasis. Emphasis and stress in communication. So what is emphasis and what is stress in communication? Emphasis, this we have already discussed, when we emphasize on one word for a longer time. Okay, that is emphasis. And stress is we lay stress on the things which we want to show that they are important. So emphasis highlights or accentuates certain words or phrases. So emphasis means when we need to emphasize certain words, when we need to lay more stress on certain words or phrases. Then stress assigns prominence to syllables. Stress, it emphasizes some syllables in a word. Emphasis and stress, they draw attention to the important information. Means to important information, and they clarify meaning and convey emotions or attitude. Means the meanings are also clarified. Means clarity is there in the meanings. And then these elements enhance clarity and overall communication, make overall communication effective. Now these were the key concepts. Now let's see the summary of the key concepts. That is, intonation and voice dynamics are crucial for effective English communication, for effective speaking. Then pitch, volume, pace and emphasis, they shape how we speak, what we speak and what we intend the listener to understand. Then mastering these elements, they will enhance our communication skills. And then they help us engage, inform and influence people. And understanding and mastery over all these elements will obviously lead to effective speaking skills, effective communication. Now we will discuss each and every element in detail. That is pitch variation. Pitch variation is the basics. It is the pitch variation, the basics of pitch variation. That is, pitch variations are fundamental in speech communication. Means obviously all these elements, they are fundamental elements of speech, of communication. And pitch is required when pitch is helpful in selecting the type of sentence, whether the sentence is interrogative, whether the sentence is exclamatory. So these sentences, or it is simply a statement. So all these things are represented by the pitch. pitch. Then high and low pitch have different communication functions. Means low pitch, we have discussed this, that high and low pitch, they both have different functions. And pitch emphasizes certain words to convey specific meaning. Now I can say that the meaning of the words also changes, the way the words are pronounced. And the pitch shifts can indicate changes in speaker's emotions or intent. Means the pitch shift, what does it show? It shows that the speaker, means what is the intention of the speaker. Now I can say that I can give you an example of pitch variation, like food and water, both are important for human life. Okay, now when I say food and water, both are important for human life. So what is it? I am emphasizing more on food. Okay, now if I say food and water, both are important for human life. So here I am, when I raise my pitch at human life, that means I am emphasizing that human life is something which is more important. Okay, means according to my subject, I am giving more importance to human life. Maybe my topic is on human life or whatever the reason is. Then rising pitch and its implication. Now we have spoken about pitch variation, rising pitch and lowering pitch. Now we will see separately that how rising pitch it affects a sentence and how lowering pitch it affects a sentence. So rising pitch is it is associated with questions or uncertainty. Means the pitch is high when we are uncertain about something, and when we are raising questions. It can also indicate politeness or request for confirmation. Means it is means like when we are talking about questions, where were you till now? So what happens? My pitch automatically rises. So this is a question. So next is like it can also indicate politeness or request for confirmation. Means please say, tell whether I can come in or not. So this there also we raise our pitch. Then effective use of pitch can engage listeners. Obviously, means when we are speaking on one particular pitch, then what happens? It tends to create monotony in the speech. So to make the speech more effective, it is compulsory that we change the pitch patterns. We change the voice patterns up usually, and it will create, it will break the monotony in the speech, because the listeners who have to listen for a long time, then it becomes boring for them. If a person is speaking monotonously in the same pitch and at the same pace. It keeps the conversation dynamic and interactive. And it keeps the conversation dynamic and interactive. Means obviously when there are changes in the conversation, the listener will be interested. And even if in between, if his attention gets diverted, it will come back when there is a change in the pitch. Then after the rising pitch, we are going to discuss falling pitch. Falling pitch conveying assertion. So what does the falling pitch convey? It conveys assertion. Means yes, we are polite, but we are assertive. It signifies completion and confidence in speech. Means like when I am saying, I have decided that I will not go. I have decided that I will not go. So I have decided that I will not go, no doubt that it is at a lower pitch. But then what happens? That I have already decided. Means it sends the message across that I have decided that I will not go. It shows an assertion. No doubt the pitch is low, but there is assertiveness. Then falling pitch can also indicate dominance or authority. Means it can it depends upon which question it is being used and in which situation it is used. Then it helps in concluding thoughts and ideas clearly. Means what happens when I like I say, okay, so we come to the end of our, now I'm saying like this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is this, I have said. So we finally come to the end. So what happens to come to the end? The pitch lowers down. So it even shows that the conversation is towards conclusion. The conversation, the speaker is concluding the conversation. So this is also very helpful. This pitch is also, falling pitch is also very helpful. So this rise and fall in the pitch, it can actually enhance the quality of the speech. Then we have volume. Volume control means volume control, it commanding attention, means volume should be controlled. It's not that every time the volume has to be high or every time that the volume has to be low. Means the high volume means there is a lot of noise in the ears, and low volume means you have to extra exert your ears to listen. So in this low and high volume, volume control is important for effective communication, and it can signal, means low or high volume, loud speech, it can signal, it can significantly draw the attention of the people. If we are loud, means people are murmuring, people are talking to each other, and then suddenly I say, listen, attention, listen to me all of you. Then obviously in a class of students, like there are 50 students or what, if my voice, when I raise the volume, then the students will pay attention to what I am saying. Then soft speech creates a sense of intimacy, means when I say, listen, all of you listen to me, then obviously this also creates a sensation that maybe I am trying to say something intimate, or I am trying to say something which is confidential, which I don't want others to listen. Then volume variation keep, and this volume variation is very important, because high and low volume means if we are going at the same stable pace, then it becomes the speech becomes monotonous. But when we keep on changing, means when we change the volume, then it happens that the listener tends to pay attention that like something new is coming or something more important is coming. So change in the volume is mandatory, and change of the volume, it can transform the delivery of the message that we want to convey, or whatever we are speaking. After the volume control, it is maintaining listener engagement with volume, means how we can maintain the listener's engagement with volume. Means we can engage the listeners. Obviously, high volume and low volume means if the volume is extra high, then also we will attract the attention of the listener. And if the volume is very low, then also the listener will turn around to see like what happened, that the volume has decreased. It has fallen to a particular level. So this they control, means high and low volume control can maintain the attention or engagement of the listener. Then it helps in emphasizing key points during a speech, means obviously when the key points are mentioned, then our speech is loud, means we speak loudly. Then when we draw volume scales can dramatize the speech, means we can give a dramatic effect, means sometimes raising the volume and sometimes lowering the volume. So it can give a dramatic effect to the speech. And then we can engage proper volume levels. They prevent listener from fatigue, means the listener doesn't get tired of listening if the volume control is maintained. So thus we can say that volume control is also very important. It is important to maintain the attention of the listener. Then we have pace adjustment. Pace adjustment, keeping the audience hooked, means the pace, how rapidly we speak, or how slowly we speak, or we speak at a normal pace. So speaking this pace or adjustment, it keeps the so high pace, pace adjustment is can hook the attention of the listener. High pace, it can show urgency, or something that requires immediate action or excitement. And low pace, It can, the low pace, it again, it shows like if the thing is less important, or it allows for reflection, means low pace, it gives time for the readers to reflect upon it, that what the person is trying to speak. So varying the pace, it keep the listeners hooked, and it keeps the listeners hooked. And this pace adjustment is very important in storytelling, because the way we tell stories means somewhere we the high pace, somewhere the low pace, and it enhances the storytelling skills of a person. Then after the pace, it is excitement and urgency through pace. Means how excitement, like if we are speaking fast, that means we are too excited to speak. We are, when a person is excited to tell too much, and means his and to tell too much at a very fast speed, in a very short time. So that is that at that time our pace increases, and this pace also increases when the thoughts which are running in the mind, they are faster than the words which are being spoken of. So there also the fast pace is there. Then we have that it creates, means speaking at high pace, it creates a high energy atmosphere in the conversation. And quick pace can indicate nervousness, means something you are, when we speak quickly, it means it is also an indication of nervousness, that we don't want the listener to pay attention to some of the words, like when we want to muddle up the words, when we want to just skip over the words, or we don't want to convey the full information. At that time, what do? We go very fast, we speak very fast. Then it keeps listeners to the edge of their seats, means it keeps listeners to the edge of their seats, means it keeps listeners attentive towards the conversation. So this rapid speech can be used strategically to emphasize urgency, means when we need to show that something is very urgent, then we use this rapid speech. Then next is conveying seriousness and deliberation. Now when we have to, how pace can be adjusted when we need to convey seriousness and deliberation. Deliberation means that thoughtful. When we are thinking, means when we speak thoughtfully, and we want the other person also to think, deliberate on what we people are speaking. So it is like speaking slowly conveys seriousness, this we know, and deliberation. Then it allows the speaker to emphasize important points. Means the speakers, if he speaks slowly, he can emphasize on all the important points, and provides time for the audience to process information. It also, like slow speaking, it gives time to the audience to deliberate upon what has been spoken about. Means what have been said that the listener can always think upon. Then means if it creates a reflective and thoughtful atmosphere. Reflective and thoughtful means one can think and one can reflect. Slow, deliberate speech enhances the gravity of the message. Means when a person speaks slowly and then a person deliberates on the words, then it shows the gravity of the message, the seriousness of the message. Creating dramatic tension. So creating dramatic tension, that is that these all the points which we are discussing, they are under the category pace control. Means how the pace control has different effects. That is pace control means strategically slowing down can build anticipation. Anticipation means people start thinking, okay, this is what will come next. And if speeding up can increase excitement, and if we speed up, then it increases the excitement of the person. Then Pace variation is a powerful storytelling technique which I had discussed already, and it keeps the audience engaged and invested. Means their full focus is on the on this whatever is being said. Now we will discuss the next part. That is, we have discussed pace, we have discussed stress, we have discussed pace. We have discussed volume, we have discussed pace, and we have discussed. Now we will be discussing emphasis. Emphasis, which is the third element, of voice dynamics. That is, emphasis is used to highlight or accentuate certain words or phrases. Means it draws. Like I can tell you one thing, like how the emphasis, it changes the meaning of the word. Like there is a word good morning. Good morning. So equal emphasis, good morning. But then I say good morning. Good morning. Understood? So what is this? The emphasis on good. Otherwise we say good morning. Good morning. So this is the emphasis is on the second word. That is morning. So what we have to do is that we have to emphasize, for clarity, we have to emphasize the right words. Means we emphasize the words which we need to attract attention. Like I eat apples. I ate apples. Now there are two things. I ate apples. Means I am out of all the people. I am the one who ate apples. Or the better is or I did the work. I did the work. I did the work. So you know what it is? That I, the emphasis on I. It shows that I am the one who is important. I ate apples. I did the work. Now second is I ate apples. I ate apples. That means yes, that is what I ate. So emphasis on ate. Then apples. I ate apples. I ate apples. So what are these things? All the three forms of emphasis, what are they doing? They are showing the difference, that how the sentence, the meaning of the sentence changes. Like I ate apples. I ate apples. So when emphasis on the I means the I is important. Then ate. I ate apples. That means that's something what I ate. And then apples. I ate apples means apples are something which are of importance. Maybe apples are very expensive, or maybe I love eating apples. So that is the way how we emphasize upon words. And meaning of the sentences, not exactly the verbal meaning, but not exactly the written meaning, but the way we speak, it changes the meaning. Means the intention of the person, it changes with emphasis. That what we intend the message to go across. That whether I am important, or whether it is the what I did means what I ate, I slept, I walked, I ate. So what is important? Ate is important, the action is important, or the object is important. The thing is important. So this is what is the function of emphasis. I hope you have been able to understood, and means I am able to convey it properly, that this is how emphasis it shows differentiation. Then it draws attention to key information. Means the key information, whatever. So once again, that means once again I will remind you. So this is means I am reminding you once again. So the emphasis on once again. So it's important. It's very important. So very important. It is very important. So what am I doing? I am emphasizing on the points. So we lay emphasis on the words where we need to, on which we need to lay importance. But what we want to show are important. It helps listener remember the important information, and mastering this emphasis, it improves overall communication skills, and the impact of the speech is better. Then we come to the next point, that is stress. Now what is stress? Enhances word prominence. Now stress is also part of voice dynamics, and stress, it enhances word prominence, means the words, how the words are spoken. Like I had explained to you about different words, good and morning, that was emphasis. Now we're going to talk about Now we are going to talk about stress. Means in a word on which sounds we lay stress upon. What are the sounds where we lay stress? So that also changes the meaning, that changes the articulation of the sentence. Like it is like there is one word that is how means the way we speak, how the way we articulate the word, that also changes. That changes with stress. Now there is a word con, S-E-N-T, scent. Okay. Now we can when I speak the word consent, it's consent, means the stress is equal on both the words. Now I say consent. That is what the stress is on con. Then I say consent. That means the stress is on scent. So there are certain words where the stress is laid equal on all the syllables, or there are words on which stress pattern also changes. Now, stress assigns relative prominence to syllables within words. Means that I said that what is stress? Stress means in simple words, stress means that which syllables in the word, syllables or sounds in a word we need to emphasize. Is that clear? I think I am making myself clear. Don't confuse it with emphasis. Emphasis is different, but stress, just to explain the word stress, means a word, a 4-letter, 5-letter word. Okay, so we are laying emphasis on which sounds, because a word has 2 or 3 sounds. So what sounds we are laying emphasis on? Now I'll give you one example that just crossed my mind, and an example of table. Now what is it? There are 3 sounds. Table. These are 3 sounds in the word table. Okay. Now when we emphasize the words table. So table. T is emphasized. The stress is on T, and there is a small line which shows, like if we go consult a dictionary or internet, there is small line which shows the stress on the syllables. That is the mark of stress on the syllables. So now table. Now there is table. Now I am talking about the table. Now table. Table. So that is table. Means I am emphasizing on table. Then table. The third one is table. What's this? I am emphasizing on L. So now you can understand. I think this example has made it clear that where is stress. So stress is on T. That's table. So the word comes table. So if supposing one key tip I am giving you, that if you are not sure because of the changing times, I'm not sure because of the changing times, because there is American accent and there is British accent. So there is at times there is a contrast, or there is a confusion that which accent which we should follow, that how a word should be spoken, because this change in the spoken pattern is rapidly taking change. Means that the change in the spoken pattern is rapid. So which word, how we should represent how we should articulate the word, if there is any confusion, then I would ask my learners that the key tip to that is go to the dictionary, or a very simple part is Google it, because through internet you can find out, they can even pronounce it, they can tell you that how a word has to be pronounced, how a word has to be articulated, or otherwise if you have a dictionary you can consult a dictionary also. So on dictionary you will see that small line, like it appears as it is one small one which is written on which syllable. So the one which is written on whichever syllable, there we have to emphasize, there we have to lay stress on that particular syllable, we have to lay stress on. Then effective stress, it enhances the rhythm and flow of speech. Means it clarifies the meaning of the word also. Means sometimes if a word is spoken and it becomes, if the stress is wrongly imposed upon or a word is wrongly stressed, then it changes the meaning of the word. Then it clarifies speech and avoids misunderstanding if the stress is laid properly on the syllables, and it enhances the rhythm and the flow of the sentence. So it is very very essential. Stress is very very essential for clear speech. That means the speech is clear only means how the words are spoken. Clear and effective speech. Now my next part is combining emphasis and stress. Means when we combine these both, emphasis and stress, then what happens? Combining this emphasis and stress, what happens? It enhances the clarity of the speech. Then means the word is spoken properly, the word is pronounced properly, and emphasis is laid on the word which needs to be given importance. Okay, so it ensures the audience grasp the key points. Means the audience are able to grasp the key points because the words which are spoken, they are able to understand the words, and the emphasis is properly laid on with the words that are important. And this combination, it makes communication more impressive and impactful, and it shows depth and nuance to spoken language. So this speech is pretty crucial. This technique means emphasis and stress. These are important for persuasive speaking. Means when we need to persuade somebody, when we are trying to persuade somebody. Now applying intonation techniques. And now we come to the intonation. So what are the intonation techniques and how? Means how do we apply these intonation techniques? The first one is applying intonation techniques. It enriches spoken communication. Means when we apply these intonation, when the intonation is proper on a sentence, then the speech becomes more clear and it becomes more effective. It enriches the speech. Then the speaker's emotions and intentions can be clearly emphasized. Means they can be made clear. Means the intentions and the emotions, they can only be stressed, they can only be reflected through intonation patterns. Then intonation guides a listener through the message. Means what the message actually indicates, and it makes a speech more engaging. So intonation techniques are very very important for effective communication. Now real life examples of effective intonation. That means real life examples, we can say that in real life there how we can learn or how we can understand or where we can apply intonation. Means that is we can analyze people. Means how the people are talking, how the people are speaking, and then we can practice it on our own also. Means we can follow the news readers, or because that is the best thing I feel. Means the news readers, their speech delivery is perfect. Whatever they are trying to say, it has all the clarity also, and all the aspects of speech delivery are perfect. So I would always suggest my students and the learners that they should follow the news readers to master their speech delivery. Then second is, another thing is that we can even observe the public speakers, that these motivational speakers, these public speakers, that how they are speaking and how they use this intonation very effectively. Then how pitch, volume and pace, how it affects the delivery. Means we have to practice it ourselves. We can practice it ourselves, record our speech, and then we can find out that what we are speaking means how the volume, the speed, pitch, the space is how it is what impact it is creating. So we can record it and see. Otherwise, what we can do is that we can analyze the speech delivery of the other people also. Then these examples, then when we can learn from this can enhance our skills. and it can means a real life example. It demonstrates the power of intonation. Means the best intonation patterns can be learned through real life examples. Now, voice dynamics in public speaking. My next point is voice dynamics in public speaking, because what all we people are doing, it is like we are speaking, but at the other end we need things for our speech, means how we are speaking the things, but along with our speech, it is that public speaking is also an important part. Means that all English speakers at one point or the other point, we need to do public speaking. Means if we are, whether we are in an organization or we are in an education field. Means education field, obviously we have to do the speaking most of the time, but in organizations also, during presentations or during PPT presentations or during paper presentations or launching a product or anything, means there are n number of times that we have to go in for public speaking, and this public speaking, it becomes all the more important, or we can say that it increases the with the promotions, or with the rise to the heights. The higher you rise, the more public speaking you have to do. So this is what it is. So for public speaking, how we can use these voice dynamics in public speaking, how it can make our public speaking effective. So these voice dynamics, they are very important for speech delivery, for speech delivery, and these include pitch, volume, and pace, and pitch, volume, pace, and emphasis. And means we can these voice dynamics, they can captivate the audience. Means if everything is perfect, our pitch, speech, emphasis, volume, everything is perfect, then the listener can get impressed that how a person can speak so fluently at one particular pace. And these are the elements that make our speech impressive and impactful and memorable also. So mastering voice dynamics is a must for the people who want to get into voice dynamic the people who want to get into public speaking. Now, after the voice dynamics, it is the emotional impact of voice dynamics. Means how the emotions can be reflected through voice dynamics. How emotions, means how we can show the emotions, or how the emotions are reflected in our words. That also depends on the elements of voice dynamics. That is, if we are feeling, means our feelings, our attitudes, means the voice reflects the speaker's feelings and the speaker's attitudes. Means if I'm very sad, okay students, let's discuss today this. That means my mood is very sad. I am in a melancholic mood. So my tone, my way of speaking will go. But if I am in a happy mood, so let's see students what we have to do today. So my speech will tell me that I am energetic, I am enthusiastic, and I am in a good mood. So our emotions, they are reflected in the way we speak. Then we have that enhancing, means proper use enhances emotional connections with the audience. So this means the emotions which are reflected in our voice, they can elicit the same emotional, they can draw out the same emotions from the readers also. So there can be an emotional connection between the speaker and the listener, not readers, sorry, it is the listeners. So sometimes we can see, like a very good example of this is that in the movies, the protagonist crying, so the way she speaks, so obviously our mood also changes accordingly. So we also face the same emotions as the protagonist or the actor or actress she is going through. Now, voice dynamics That is, next is voice dynamics and persuasion. Means how voice dynamics they help in persuading. How they help in persuading people. That is, voice dynamics are essential in persuasion. Means how we persuade, because we have to speak in that tone that the people are ready. The people get ready to listen and do what we want them to do. Means we are able to persuade the people towards an action. That is, they help in emphasizing key points and arguments. Then voice dynamics, that emphasizing in key points and the arguments, and they can influence listeners' opinions. Means through our tone, the way we speak. Means if, like, I can give you an example here. Like if somebody has to persuade a group towards action. Means let's say it's something patriotic. Let's start, let's walk, let's do this for our country. So what happens? The people say yes, yes, yes. You can elicit such responses. And if I say, if there is this one, like, I'm sorry, I cannot do it. Please help me, all of you. Please help me. So the other people will, like, they will also be emotional that way, and they will also think of helping the person who is speaking. So these kind of techniques, these kind of elements, what do? They elicit the same response from the people. Means if you are motivated, means one key point which I say, that if I am enthusiastic, the people will listen with enthusiasm. And if I am only demotivated, then nobody will listen to what I am saying. Right? So it means that our emotions are reflective. Our emotions, they reflect, and they are mirrored by the listeners. Means if we are, whatever our emotions are, we will get the same from the listeners. That will elicit same response from the listeners. So they can build, voice dynamics can build a compelling and convincing message. Means it can make our message more convincing. It can make our message compelling. After this voice dynamics, means there are certain practice exercises for pitch variation. Means what can be practiced to make changes in our pitch variation, to make our speech more effective or for different purposes. Means pitch variations can be brought in according to the requirement. Means whatever we are trying to do, wherever we need to use, according to different requirements of the speech. Means practical exercises, what happens, they enhance pitch variations. Means practice rising and falling pitch in different contexts. Means we can speak loudly, we can speak slowly. This way we can practice that how loud pitch how does it appear, and low pitch, how does it appear. And then we can, like, or if we are participating for different purposes, we can use that low pitch and the high pitch also. Then we can record. And how can we know that whether it is good or bad? Means we can record and then we can review. We can record our pitch, we can record low pitch, we can record high pitch, and then we can listen to it, and then we can see that does it have the same effect which we are expecting, or there are any changes that we need to do. Then experiment with pitch to convey different emotions. Yes, pitch can be experimented. Means pitch can be experimented with different emotions. Means when you are happy, then how? Means if you are happy, then you speak in low pitch, then you will see that it will not have that impact. If you are very enthusiastic, then you speak in low pitch, then you will see that it doesn't have any impact. So that kind of variations you can do at home. You can try, you can record, and then listen and see that what impact pitch variation have. So the mastery of pitch variation, as it is important. Then after this, we have volume control exercises. That means how volume can be controlled. That is, again, we can do it ourselves. We can speak at a very low volume, or we can speak at a very high volume. And then what can we do? We can record it, and after recording, we can record it, and after recording, we can check that what is which type of speaking will help which type of speaking it can be supported by my voice quality. Means if I have a soft quality, then obviously very high pitch will not work. And if I have a rough quality, then obviously very low pitch will not work. So this we can decide upon, and then we can use it accordingly. And these things are very, very useful when we have to give a dramatic effect to things. That when supposing I'm participating in a drama, or I'm participating in some group discussion, or I'm participating in any vocal activity, then these things can be of great use. Or even to break the monotony while teaching. So experiments with this volume, we can see that how it can impact our communication. Then after volume, we have pace adjustment drills. Now pace adjustment drills are also there. All these things are available because it was very difficult to accommodate all of them in my presentation. But these, if you write pace adjustment drill, there are many drills which are available on the internet free of cost, and then you can use it. And once you use any one of it, then you don't need, because once you use it, then you know that how different drills can be used. So it is like practice speaking these drills, means practice speaking this at varying speeds, means different speeds, means you can speak loudly, means you can check with 30 seconds, and in 30 seconds you speak 10 words. First of all, the one drill is, which I will give you an example, one drill is that 30 seconds you time your watch for 30 seconds and then speak. Then speak normally. Alright, then how many words? Count the number of words that are there. Then low pace, and then high pace. So then you will come to know that, and then you can listen and you can see that what is the effect of low pace, high pace, whether you, and what type of pace you are using, whether you are speaking on low or you are speaking at high pace. Because since we are not clear that what we are speaking, how we are speaking. So this all we can do. And in some of the activities, which you will, some drills which you can find on internet, there are the counting words also. Like it is online, and you can it will count the words and it will tell you that how many words you have spoken. So these things are also there. Like pacing techniques, enhance speech delivery. Obviously, all these things we are talking about speech delivery only, to enhance the speech delivery. Record and analyze your pace and what effect it has. Means what effect your pace has on your speech. How does it appear to other people, and what improvement we can make to, what changes are required. Now, emphasis and stress practice. Now, what happens with the emphasis and stress practice? That is, words and emphasize words, highlight. This means highlight important words while speaking, and syllables during speech practice. Means what we can do is, if we have to speak one line, we can highlight with a highlighter. We can highlight that which words we need to emphasize upon, and in words which are the syllables that we need to stress upon, and then we can make changes in our speech accordingly. We can practice that. These exercises are also available online, and these exercises, there are speech delivery or speech apps also through which we can do it. Then recording your practice sessions can help identify areas which needs improvement, and regular practice of all this can obviously improve a person's speech delivery. Then after this emphasis and speech, we come to the next topic, that is building confidence in voice dynamics. Means how we can build our confidence. Means confidence is essential and effective for effective use of voice dynamics. Means we need to be very, very confident, because we need, if accordingly we change the if we change the pace, or if we change the pitch, or we change the volume or emphasis, whatever elements of the voice dynamics we need to change, then we should be very, very confident. And this confidence will come with practice. Means we can practice, we can record our speech, and we can see that how it appears to other people, how it falls on the ears of other people. Then secondly, we can even make our some close person some close person like a family member or neighbor or friend or colleague, anybody, to sit and analyze our voice, so that what changes we have made and what is the impact of those changes. And practice and preparation means first we have to practice a lot, practice and prepare before the speech delivery. Then engage in exercises that focus on voice dynamics, and then seek feedback, this I said, and then confident use of voice dynamics can enhance overall communication. So what we have to do is that practice, we have to prepare, we have to practice. We can tell anybody to listen to it and guide us what changes are required. We can record it, and then we can listen to it and make changes accordingly. Then after this, voice dynamics in different contexts means what are the different contexts in which voice dynamics can be used. So this is a little thing which what we have already done. That is voice dynamics vary across different communication context, means when in different communication the voice dynamics change. Means when we are in a good mood, when we are in a bad mood, or when we are giving a happy news, or we are enthusiastic about something, we are sharing our ideas where we are enthusiastic, or all these things, or we are sad. So all these things the voice dynamics change. So means we need to adapt our pitch, volume and pace to fit the situation. Means if we are happy, the voice dynamics will be different. If we are sad, the voice dynamics will be different. So we have to adjust and adapt our voice dynamics according to the situation where we are speaking. And we can practice with different settings and different audio, with different audience also. We can practice this, and then we can understand the impact, the demand of each context. Means what? Like if I am giving a speech. Okay, if it is a motivational speech, then my presentation would be different. If I am holding a session, that will be different. And if I am teaching in my class, then it would be different. So for all these three things, the news readers, when they are reading news, then it is altogether different. So different contexts and the voice dynamics change. So understanding the demand and understanding the usage of voice dynamics, that how we can use it appropriately, to enhance our spoken skills. That is very important. Then after the voice dynamics, we are overcoming common challenges. Means what are the common challenges that we face in the intonation and the voice dynamics? What are the common challenges which we face in speech delivery, and how we can remove them, how we can overcome them? These challenges, whatever the challenges are, whatever challenges we can face, they are not challenges that they cause hindrance. They are the ones which can be overcome by practice. Then we can identify common issues like monotony and nervousness. Like if we are nervous, then it will be reflected in our voice. And if we are feeling monotonous, then that also will be reflected in our voice. Similarly, enthusiasm means our happiness, our enthusiasm, that also reflects in our voice. Then means we can identify these common issues, and then we can overcome them. We can target. There are certain exercises that we can use. We can target on those particular areas, and then we can bring improvement. Then seek constructive feedback and make adjustments. Means feedback is very important. Sometimes it is that we ourselves are unable to assess. Means we are unable to make assessment. So in that case, we can get feedback from somebody of some confederate art of ours. Then next is advanced techniques in voice dynamics. The advanced techniques in voice dynamics, they are like they explore nuanced use of pitch, volume and pace. So what do? They enhance our skills. And how they enhance? The use of pitch, what pitch, what scale, and what pitch, what volume, what scale, where, how we have to use it. Then study accomplished speakers for inspiration, means study the accomplished speakers, the motivation speakers, the other speakers, or we can listen to the news readers also, and or we can listen to the leaders who are giving the speech. So we can go through them, we can study all these people, and we can see that how they speak, and accordingly we can make changes in our speech also. Whatever thing we find impressive and suitable for our subject matter, our speech, then we can use it in our speech. Experiment with complex voice dynamics in practice. So we can experiment, we can use, we can bring differentiation in our voice. So these can lead to these advanced mastery. Mastery leads to exceptional communication abilities. So our communication abilities are enhanced. Our communication abilities are improved with the use of these techniques. So moving towards the end of my session, it is like the conclusion. What is the conclusion? That means advanced techniques, they can be very, very helpful for all of us. We need to and we should make changes in our speech to make it more effective, and those changes can be through voice dynamics and intonation patterns, bringing a change in the intonation and voice dynamic patterns. We can use different techniques. We can study the people whom we appreciate, or the renowned people, renowned speakers. We can study their way of speaking, and then we can make changes accordingly. Then there are different softwares also that can be used to bring changes. Means experiment with complex voice dynamics in practice. So we can practice them, these voice dynamics in practice. Then significantly means these voice dynamics, these intonation and voice dynamic patterns, they can significantly impact our speech delivery. So a final thought and encouragement, that is mastering intonation and voice dynamics takes time and efforts, means they cannot be done overnight. It is that they take time, they take effort, means continuous practice is required. Overnight changes cannot take place because something which we people have been following for years now, they will take a little effort and a little time to change. It will take a little time, little effort and little time to change that practice. Then consistent practice and feedback, they are the two keys which can bring about change. Means continuously we have to practice it, and after practicing from time to time we can take feedback from the other people also who can guide us. Then enhance the learning process and stay motivated. Means embrace the learning process, not enhance, embrace the learning process, means keep on learning, don't leave learning. Be motivated and keep on practicing. Then effective communication is a valuable skill worth investing on. Means this is a skill which needs to be invested. Because if your way of speaking is good, obviously whatever you speak, most of the times it will have an impact. No doubt that what you are speaking is also important, but equal importance is on how you are speaking it. So more engaging and impactful interactions can only be gained by consistent efforts. Means if we make efforts, then these changes can be, like, we can make changes and these changes will be for good. So here I finish up. Thank you very much for being patient, listening. I hope you are able to understand. If you are following my sessions, I feel that you are able to understand each and everything what I am, because I am trying to elaborate on all the points means going deep into in depth and delving in depth into all the points so that the points are clear to you. Thank you once again. Thank you.